Hi everyone, Amber here from Majestic. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am sewing up month 5 of Cotton Cut's Flyway Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I apologize that this video is out a tiny bit later than I normally do. June has been such a very busy month for me, so I appreciate your patience and I hope you enjoy it. In month 5, as always, I am sewing up a large phoenix, but included in month 5 is always a little gift from Cotton Cut. So thank you so much for including this. This is so fun. I had one of the boxes that are prepaid, so I don't know if the monthly is different. But in mine, it is this cute little booklet that has sticky notes, and I love it because it has the big sticky notes and then the smaller tabs. I love this not only as a teacher for like annotating my books and such, but also because I use sticky notes to mark my sections for my Puzzle Mystery Quilt. So this was such a cute, thoughtful gift. So thank you to Cotton Cuts for including that. And now for month 5, we have 2 sections. We have 5A, which is this larger square section, and we're making 2 of them. And we have 5B, which is a strip, and we are also making 2 of these. So I'm loving how it's looking. We have so many of these economy blocks. I know I say it every time, but I'm really just so curious what the end result of this quilt is going to look like, because I feel like it's going to be so different from any Puzzle Mystery Quilts that we have seen so far. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please let me know in the comments if you do. As always, if you enjoy, I'd love if you subscribe or give me a thumbs up. Helps my channel grow, and I appreciate it so much. Sign-ups are also open still for Cotton Cut's next Puzzle Mystery Quilt, Under the Sea. Once the first month ships, you can no longer sign up for the prepaid box. And if you are able to, I highly recommend paying for that prepaid box, because then you have all your clues up front, and on release day, you can just go to the evidence locker, download your clue, and start sewing. You don't have to wait for the mail. So again, if you would like to sign up for that, please feel free to use my ambassador code. It is AMBERSEA, S-E-A, like the ocean sea. And it will give you a bonus gift on your first month. It also lets Cotton Cuts know that you enjoy my channel and you follow along. So again, I hope you enjoy this month's tutorial. All right, so we are on month 5 of Flyway. I have everything laid out like I normally do. In month 5, Cotton Cuts always gives you a bonus gift. In mine, had this cute little thing with sticky notes and also these tabs, and I was just thinking this is perfect, so that way after you're done with your clue, you can mark it like how we have 5A and 5B. I always put like a little sticky note so I know which one's which, and then put them back in the bag. So this is such a cute, thoughtful gift. I received mine like prepay all up front, so I'm not sure if month to month is different, but they always have something cool in the month 5 clue. So thank you to Cotton Cuts for including that. It's always a nice little bonus and nice little surprise. All right, so I have my clue here. This month we have 2 different sections, a 5A and a 5B. They're both quite large, so I'm really excited. So many half square triangles and these large like diamond blocks. I really can't wait to see how this is going to come together, because my brain can't even picture it right now. So we're going to start with 5A, and just like I normally do, I'm going to divide this all in half. So we would need 4 of these for the tutorial. I'm going to do 2. So we need 2 large A squares. And again, I'm just going to try to look at them to figure out right side versus wrong side. It's so tricky with the batiks with the wax on them, but I think I'm doing an okay job. We'll see when they start coming all together. And so now I need 2 of my small B triangles. This is that green with like the light green specks in it. And we're going to need 4 of these because I need them on the top. So I like laying these out first. And again, I'm just trying to look and see if I can figure out right side, wrong side. How I do that is I kind of like fold it back on the shelf so I can see both of the patterns at the same time. All right, so we have our B's up top, and then I need a C triangle on the bottom right, which is our orange fabric if you are Team Phoenix. And our D fabric on the left, which is our yellow. And I don't know why I always want to switch these, so I just am going to be very, very mindful as I am sewing these, because I always want to flip-flop the two colors for whatever reason. Right, so I am going to start with the top and just kind of centering it. It's going to hang over a tiny bit on the left and right hand side. That will get covered up just like we've done for our last few months. So we've done a lot of blocks like these already. And instead of cutting my thread, I'm going to sew these both at once.
Good.
And I'm sewing with the full 1/4 inch seam allowance. That's what works best for me. I just realized I have a really large stitch length right now, but I'm not going to go back over it. It's still, it will still hold, especially once all the quilting goes on. I just lowered it for next time. And we are pressing our seams out. So I always press the back and then gently press the front. So the end of May, June has been so busy for me. So I'm just getting to month 5, and we are going through a heat wave right now in New York. And I do not have an AC in this craft room, so I will probably be filming in short spurts, especially with the how using the iron. All right, and so for this block, we have our B triangles up top. So now I'm going to sew the opposite side. So I am going to sew that D triangle, which is our yellow. Again, I'm just lining it up centered. And I'm just using Gutermann thread. You might notice that I have a different thread color in the bobbin than the top. And I'm just using up a bobbin. I don't worry about it because this is all in the piecing, so you don't see, or you won't see any of this later on. All right, and again, we are pressing these open. I like pressing from the back and then gently folding it open. So I hope that you are enjoying sewing along with me for Flyway. I'm super excited for the next Puzzle Mystery Quilt. I have no idea what my colorway is going to be. I was one of the volunteers that said it would be okay to have someone pick my colorway, so I also don't know who chose my colorway either, so that will be a lot of fun. And so now I'm working back on that B side. If you have signed up for Under the Sea, let me know which colorway that you have signed up for. I love Davy Jones' Locker, which is the like the Halloween one, and I love that has like pinks in it. If that is not chosen for me, I think I'm going to try to hunt down a fat quarter bundle of that line, that fabric line, because I just think it's so adorable. And I also like the Cafe Facet. I think it's Atlantis, the blue one. I have never sewed any of his lines, so I think that would be really cool too. But there's so many good choices. I'll be happy with any of them. Okay, and now I'm just pressing this one open again. For Flyway, I chose my own because this was my first choice. I was really trying to get this. I had never sewn batiks before, and I just love it. It reminded me of fall colors. And when the reveal came for Tree of Life, there was one that had a very similar colorway, and I just loved it. And then my friend Sean always raves about batiks, so I wanted to try them. So now I'm doing this last section here. It is our sea fabric. Right, and just trimming these down. I like to make sure I cut my threads as close as possible while I'm piecing everything. Just makes it cleaner in the end. And one thing that I love is that I've noticed how well these batiks sew, and then when you press them, a lot of times my blocks aren't so straight, or there's like wobbly seams, and I've noticed that they've come out really, really nicely. All right, so this is our step one. If you're making both blocks, you should have 4. Since I'm doing 1 for the tutorial, I have 2. And so now we have step 2, and we need 2 of these. We need an A fabric and a C fabric, and because I'm only making 1 block for the tutorial, I'm just going to do or make 1 of these. Okay, and then I'm double checking against my color card that I am grabbing the correct color. I need my orange. All right, and because I'm only doing 1, I don't have anything to chain stitch, and I am just making sure that I line these up very nicely. They should line up perfectly evenly because they are die cut for us. Right, and then for this one here, we are pressing towards our A fabric, so that is towards the top left. If you are Team Phoenix like me, that is our green fabric. Okay, so this finishes up step 2. All right, so now for step 3, we are taking what we had in step 2, we're leaving it like this, and we are attaching a small A square to the right of it. And again, you want to make 2 if you're doing both blocks. I'm only doing the 1 for right now. And they should match up perfectly in length. And for this one, we are pressing towards our square, so towards the right. All right, so I'm going to set that to the side, our step 3. Now we're on step 4, and we are going to do a similar thing, another half square triangle, this time with our D fabric, which is our vibrant yellow, and a small A triangle again, which is that dark green. Okay. And again, you'll want to make 2 of these if you are doing both blocks at once. And this looks like it curled back on itself. It was because part of the tail was caught, so that's the reason why, but it didn't mess up my stitching. And for this, we are pressing towards our A fabric, which is our green, so the bottom right. And for step 5 of this one, we need another small A square, and we are putting it to the left of this one. And just making sure, if you need to clip it, go ahead. Sometimes when I turn this, I forget which side I'm supposed to be sewing. So I'm trying to be very mindful when I turn this that I'm getting the correct ones. And for this, we are pressing our seams to the left towards the square. So now we are on step 6. We need our step 3. So this is the one that we made here first with the orange fabric. That is going to be on top of our step 5, which is the one that we just made with our yellow. So it should be orange and yellow pointing to each other with our squares on our full square on the left and the right. And I am just matching these up the center seam. So I like to do that by kind of peeling it back and making sure that they're lined up. If you press everything correctly, your seams should nest. And then you can clip this or just kind of line it up. I want to try to make sure those seams line up. That's the most important part for me, so I always clip them first. Right, and then for this one here, we are pressing our seams up towards the section that has our C fabric. So for Phoenix, the part that has that orange. And I can see that my centers here, that seam nested really well and lined up great. So I'm so happy with that. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. All right, our step 7 is quite large. We need to make 16 half square triangles. For this, I am going to only make 8. And we're making so many because we're also going to use them in our step 5B. So that's why it seems like so much. But again, so I'm going to make 8 of them. It's with our C and D fabric. So our C is the orange and I am just going to lay these out. I want 8 of them. And some are wanting to stick together, and then some are also I'm checking right sides up, or what I think is the right sides up. And because I need 8 and I don't have a lot of space here, you can see I'm putting 2 on top of each other. So the most important part is that at the end, I have 8. And then I'm going to repeat that same thing for our D, which is the yellow. And then a lot of times when this fabric is cut, our right sides are facing each other. So if I can usually tell, like the top one was right side down, I know that this one is right side up. And then the same thing here. I'm hoping that if I do make a mistake and I don't catch right sides, wrong sides, that because they're batiks, they won't be so noticeable. This one's really tricky right here. All right, so I have 8 laid out, and I am just going to sew these all chain stitching. So I just want to be mindful. Anytime I come down on like where there's a point because of the half square triangle, I always hand crank it first. And that helps it so it doesn't get sucked down into the feed dogs. And I could time lapse this, but I'm just going to sew it. That way, if you're sewing along with me, you don't have to worry about pausing or whatnot. You can, maybe it keeps up with the video. And it's cool. You're going to see by the time we're done with all these, it almost makes like a pinwheel type shape. It reminds me of like the little plastic pinwheels that you'd put outside in like a garden. I'm so curious of what the final result is going to look like. Wild West was so different from previous Puzzle Mystery Quilts with the way that the borders were put on. It wasn't solid borders. And in my time of being an ambassador and participating in the Puzzle Mystery Quilt, I have not seen so many of these, like this economy block up here. So I think that is going to really make it unique. And for the stitching, it doesn't matter if I put the C fabric on top or the D fabric, as long as at the end I press the seams to the right side. So up till now, I've had the yellow facing up, but it's not a requirement for stitching. So whichever way you kind of put these together is fine, as long as you have your right sides facing each other. Okay, so now this is where I like chain stitching them because there's not a lot of waste between these, and I can just gently trim them apart. Especially these two colors. These really remind me of fall with the leaves changing. Okay, and then now for these, we need them all pressed towards our D fabric, which is the bottom right, which is the yellow. So this is where I want to make sure that I have them going the correct way, so that way I am pressing the correct side. And as I do that, I'm just going to make a pile as I'm done. I find it so convenient just to have this little steam fast iron and my wool pressing that right here as I am going along. So even when I am not filming a tutorial, if I am doing quilting and piecing like this, I still have the mini iron and the mat right here.
Stop.
Yeah, almost done. Doing 16 of these at once would be so much. Oh, look. I guess it did fold back on itself and catch the wrong thing. So what I'm going to do is, you could rip this whole thing out. What I'm actually going to do is only rip it out where it did fold over on itself. And I'm just going to stitch over it. As I get for when I was being lazy and the little loop of fabric got caught on the presser foot. Okay, so press that and then gently open it. And you can't really see the stitching, so there's just a little piece here where I had picked off the thread, so I am going to move that. 2 more. And that's something that I could edit out, but I like showing different things like that, so that way, if everybody makes mistakes, sometimes it's helpful to see how each of us fixes them or redoes them. All right, so we have finished our step 7. You should have 16 of them if you're doing both at once. I have done the 8. All right, so now we're on step 8, and we're making 8, but for this video, I'm going to do 4. So we are using our same pieces here, and I just want to make sure that I'm putting my fabric the correct way. So the C fabric should be on the bottom left with the D fabric on top, and then the other side should be the opposite way. And I just am double checking to make sure my C fabric, these are the ones that I always want to accidentally flop. And so since I'm making 4, I'm literally just going to stack these on top of each other. So that way when I grab them, they're ready to go. And they're all facing the correct way. And I'm going to do all of them at once. They should line up without any problem since they're die cut. And so or just lining up one of that long side. The only thing is to be very, very mindful that you don't accidentally twist your fabric. So because I am not putting a clip on these, sometimes I've accidentally sewn the wrong side. And it's so interesting. Like sometimes I notice it the most with like the orange fabric. You can have such a variation in color between each of the orange pieces. All right, and so we are pressing these seams towards the left. So it should be the side that has the D fabric, for us the yellow, in the bottom left. And I'm just gently moving them to the side as I'm doing it. Perfect. So now for step 9, we are going to be using these again to put them together, making 4. So in our case, I'm making 2. So I want one of my step 8s to be exactly like I pressed it. So the C is on the left, the D is on the right. And then I am taking another and I am flipping it around. So that way it is like a pinwheel. So I'm just double checking on the bottom, C fabric, D fabric, and the reverse on top. And the same thing with this side here. So if you did it right, your fabrics should rotate around. And so I'm going to put these right sides together. If you have pressed your seams correctly, they should nest. And now they're a little bit thick because we have 8 different fabrics coming together. So definitely take your time. So I'm hoping that that center point stays matched up nicely. Oh. And then making sure I'm just lining up this edge since I didn't clip all the way. And then the same thing here. I'm turning it towards me. So I always turn things towards me so I can really fold this back and see that things are nested. And again, lining up that edge. Okay. They're so bright. It reminds me of like a circus tent too, this particular block. Okay, and so we want to press these down towards the bottom. So I want to make sure that my C fabric is on the left and my D fabric is on the right. And again, I press the back first to kind of help. And then I'm really giving it a good press in the center because we have a lot of fabrics coming together. All 8 pieces, so it makes it kind of thick. And that point came out great. I'm really, really happy with it. And we're going to do the same thing for this side here. Making sure I'm pressing down. All right, excellent. So you should actually have 4 of these if you're doing both blocks, or 5A and 5B at the same time, or 2 if we're just doing 1 and 1. Okay, so now we're on step 10, and I am taking one of these pinwheels and just slightly moving it to the left, and then I need my step 1. I need one of these, and I'm rotating it so my 2B fabrics are on the left-hand side. So I know I've did it correctly because I have my 2B fabrics, and then my D fabric is matching, and my C fabric is matching. So you're going to sew 2 of these for both blocks. I'm doing the 1. Again, turning it towards me. And here we have a seam, and I'm trying to make sure that center seam lines up to the center where this triangle point comes together. So again, that's another reason why I like to fold this back so I can really see it. And I'm hoping that it doesn't shift as I sew. Like I said before, I've found that the batiks don't shift as much. Once it starts getting like a little bit thick, I have trouble keeping everything like perfectly straight, but it's such a noticeable difference for like sewing batiks compared to the traditional other dyed fabrics. Right, and so now we are pressing this towards the left, towards that side that I like to call the pinwheel. Gently opening this up, and you can see that it matched up pretty well, so I'm quite happy with that piece. Great, excellent. So I'm just gonna gently set it to the side here. I'm gonna grab this next block 1 because I'm going to need that for step 11. This time I want my B fabrics on the top, and then we need our step 6, which is not the pinwheel. It's this one that we had used that did the full A squares, and it is going to the right. And so I know that I've done it correctly. I have my 2B fabrics up top. I have my A square to the top right and the other one to the bottom left. And then I'm just double checking the C and D fabrics. And again, it's the same idea where there's a center seam lined up to that triangle. So again, I'm just folding it back so I can really see to match that up. And I'm just making sure this last edge is straight. Because that center is quite thick. Okay, and for this one, I am pressing to the right-hand side. Gently opening that. Excellent. So that is step 11. And now we have step 12. We don't need this pinwheel yet. This is going to be used in our 5B section. So I need my step 11 here and the step 10, the one that we did do with the pinwheel. And so our step 11 is, our step 11 is up top and our step 12 is underneath. And you'll know that you have them correct because this D fabric here and this C fabric line up. And so this one has a couple different seams. So I'm going to pin in 3 places. I'm going to start pinning in the center and then hopefully match up these seams as well. So I'm going to put them right sides together and start with my center seam. Just peeling that back a little bit so I can make sure it's lined up. And then again here, this center seam, I'm trying to line it up with the center of that triangle. And actually I'm gonna, because this is long, I am gonna clip the edges too. And now again, this center seam, I'm trying to make sure lines up with the center of that triangle. And then clip the long edge. When they get really long, I like clipping everything.
This is what? Up. And
I'm just being mindful because it does get a little bit thick where some of those seams are matched up. All right, and we are pressing towards the top. So gently opening that. It's not super noticeable because of the colors. This center shifted a tiny bit, but it's not a whole bunch. And when this is all together, I don't think you're really going to notice it. And these lined up pretty decently. So I am happy with how this block turned out. This is our 5A block, and you should have 2 of these. All right, so now we're on section 5B. I have my pinwheel here. We already made this from our first section, or section 5A, I should say. So now we are on section 5B, and we are going to sew 3 different flying geese. And I'm debating, I'm going to lay them all out at once. So for step 1, each of these we're making 2. For this, I'm going to make 1. 2 of them will make both blocks. So our first thing, we need a large E triangle. And a C fabric or small triangle to the left. And a D small triangle to the right. And I'm just laying all 3 of these out at the same time. It just saves time instead of making each one separately. But you could do it whatever way works best for you. I just want to show this because as I've gotten better at quilting, I've done little things like this just to make it go by a bit quicker. Okay, this is going to be step 2. It is a B large triangle and then 2 small E triangles. And then for step 3, we need a large F triangle. And then a small F triangle on the left and a small E triangle on the right. I love that almost every month we've been using every single fabric option. I'm wondering if it'll make it like more evenly distributed.
Like,
All right, so now I'm going to start sewing the right hand side on first, and that's mostly just because I am right-handed. So I'm starting with the first one, which is step 1, and then I'll do step 2 and step 3. Okay. And this way I'm not wasting so much thread. Cutting between each one, I can put each side of our flying geese on at once. And we're just putting them right sides together, and because they're die cut, they line up perfectly. And I'm just snipping between these, and then we'll press them open.
I got.
And I've seen some people that have had trouble with flying geese, and they've been posting it in the group, and it looks like they had not pressed this open before attaching the other side. So by now we've made quite a few flying geese, and think you should know that, but it seems to be a very common beginner mistake. And I kept these in the same order that I laid out, so that way I can just grab them back again, but you can just double check to make sure that you are putting them on the correct side. Since we have 3 of them, it is easy to accidentally switch up. Right, and then our last one here. And I started at the bottom of my flying geese, but if it works better for you, you could start at the top. I don't think there's really a right or wrong way, just whatever feels more comfortable for you. Okay, and then again, pressing these open. All right, perfect. And because we did all 3 at once, we have our section 1, our section 2, and our section 3. I keep saying section, but step 1, 2, 3. And now we're on step 4. We're going to join all 3 of these together. So it says step 1 to the right of step 2. So if I pay attention, our step 1, I'm turning it so our E triangles pointing to the left. I have my C fabric on top, my D on the bottom. And then our step 2 is this one here with the B fabric and the 2E. And I want to make sure that it's pointing to my left. And then we are adding our step 3 here to the left of step 2. And again, that one's pointing left. So our large triangles, we have 2 pointing left, 1 pointing to the right. And I'm going to start at the right-hand side. You can clip them. I don't have any center seams to match up, so I am not clipping it. I'm just lining them up nicely, and they should match up. All right, and so our seams are going to be pressed towards the right. So I'm going to press from the back and then gently open them. And I had no center seams, so they match up really, really nice. And now I need to add this third side, so I'm going to put them right sides together. Okay, perfect. And then this one is, our seams are also being pressed to the right. So I press from the back and then gently open that up. And I'm really happy with how that point here turned out. Sometimes I get them cut off in the flying geese, but it turned out really nicely for this one. So I'm very, very happy with it. And now our last step is step 5. So we need to move this to the left and take our pinwheel and put it to the right. And you'll know that you have it lined up correctly because your C fabric should be matched up and your D fabric should be matched up. If they are not, you definitely want to check your order of everything. So I'm going to put them right sides together and I'm going to fold it or turn it so I can see. And I'm peeling this back so I can match this center seam with the center of this triangle here.
What's that?
All right, and then for this, our seams are being pressed to the right towards the pinwheel side. So I'm going to press the back and then carefully open these up. You can see here, this is where I was talking about where some of the fabric colors vary with the batiks, where this is more red and this is more orange. But this finishes up our section 5B, and you should have 2 of these. All right, so we have just finished out month 5 of Cotton Cuts Flyway Puzzle Mystery Quilt, the large size. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Please consider subscribing or giving me a thumbs up if you did. Let me know in the comments how you are liking Flyway, how you're liking your colorway, and if you have signed up for Under the Sea. As a reminder, my ambassador code is AmberC for that, and if you do sign up using it, you will get a bonus gift for the first month. I'll have all the information in the description as always, as well as timestamps for each of these sections. I'll see you next month. Bye.